Good morning, fifth grade. Wanted to talk to you today about Sport 28. We are back to prefixes that have meanings. These four prefixes that you're learning about are ones you probably are pretty familiar with. You probably have some background knowledge of it and probably some understanding of a lot of these words, but wanted to take the time today to go through it and talk about it. So I have already pre-cut my words. I personally have highlighted the prefixes in them. I think it's easier for you to see the prefix and them get pointed out to you. You don't have to, but it's just a thought to help you kind of study. So you don't need my help sorting, right? You can obviously look at the beginning part of the word and know which of these prefixes it's in. The purpose of our video today is to talk about each of the words. Most of these words you probably have a lot of familiarity with, but you may not know exactly what they all mean. So I wanted to take today to talk about it. So let's get started. Okay, we have four prefixes. We have mono, uni, bi, and tri. These again are things we're adding to the beginning part of a word that change the meaning of the word. Mono means one. Okay, if we talk about monotone, these are things that are said. It's kind of lack of change. If I talk about in a monotone voice, it means my voice stays the same. It doesn't get high, it doesn't get low. The voice stays the same. It's on the same one level. We have uni, also which means one. So if you typically wear uniforms, it means everybody on your team is wearing the same one thing, right? Blue jersey, white pants. So that is what uniform means. Everyone's wearing the same one. We have bilingual. That means you speak lingual, or anything dealing with that means languages. So if you're bilingual, it means you might speak two languages. I would typically say you guys are getting to be bilingual because you are, you know English and you are also learning Spanish. And then we have triangle, so of or relating to three sides or three angles, okay? So as we get started, let's go through these. We've got monotony. This is similar to monotone. If you have something that's monotony, it means there's a lack of change. You do the same one thing over and over and over again, right? So your job might be, to bring in the shopping carts from the parking lot, and that is what you do over and over and over again. 55 times a day, and then the next day you do it over again. There's no change, nothing different. It's the same one thing. We have the word monopoly. If you've ever played that board game before, you know that a monopoly, the goal is to take over all the railroads and all the hotels and all the boardwalks, right? You want complete control over it. So a monopoly is a complete control over a market or a service. There's one thing that's kind of in control of everything. We have monorail. So if you've ever been to Disney, you should be familiar with this. A monorail is like a railroad, but it has one track, right? So those railroad things run on one track as they go. They don't switch tracks. They go the same loop over and over again. And you have to switch trains to get, to get wherever you're going. You have the word monologue. This is something you see often in plays or dramas where you have one character who's making a speech about something, and they're typically the only one on stage, or they're definitely the only person talking, but it's a one-person kind of like speech, so to speak. You have monopod. If you've ever seen a selfie stick, this is a monopod. It's something that holds a camera, but it has one little leg to it, for example. And then we have monolingual, right? Mrs. Phelps is definitely monolingual, meaning of or relating to being able to speak one language, right? If you ever see me trying to teach you Spanish, you know that's probably not a good thing. Okay, uni, same thing. This also means of or relating to one. So we talked about uniform. We've got universal. This is like something that is experienced by everyone, right? So if we talk about how there was a universal fee given to everyone at the school for new books, that means that every single person at the school gets this one fee that they have to do. We talked about the word unilateral. That one might be one that you haven't heard before. The lat means across the board or across, like, you think about latitude. So unilateral means you're making, everything is kind of experienced or involving like one group or country. So I talk in the soccer game how there was unilateral scoring, right? One team scored 80 points, the other team scored none. I might say the president is making unilateral decisions for the country, right? He's making this one decision for the whole country. And then we have the word unify, right? So that means to kind of bring together for one common purpose, right? I'm going to unify the country, to fight in the war against, I don't know, aliens. I don't know, something made up, right? So that is what it means to unify. Okay, we get down here to bi. We know that means two. So the first word we have is bicameral. You might remember this from your government study. So we talk about cameral. This means, we talk about it in the United States a lot with a bicameral legislature. So legislature we know means making the laws. Bicameral means two houses. So a bicameral legislature is two houses, right? We have the House of Representatives and the Senate. So that's the type of legislative that we have here in the United States. We have binary. This means of or relating to two parts. If you were a coder, if you experienced code a lot, they talk a lot about binary code. Binary code is two parts. It's a code made up entirely of zeros and ones, and it allows certain things to happen or you to better understand things. So binary means two parts. We have the word biennial. That means it happens every 2 years. So I might have a biennial trip to, Virginia Tech to go watch a football game. So I go every 2 years to go to do that. We have biweekly, right? That means happens every 2 weeks. So I might take a bi-weekly trip to Costco. I go every 2 weeks there to stock up on things that I need. I have bi-monthly. That means every 2 months, right? I might go visit my family bi-monthly in Virginia. So I go every 2 months. I have bisect. That one you may have heard in math, but maybe aren't as familiar with. Bisect means you're going to divide it into two equal parts, right? So if I have a line and I might bisect it, I might divide it into two parts. Or, the highway bisects the county. It divides the county into two parts. And then you have bicep. This one you will hear a little bit more when we start our anatomy unit. Bicep is they're muscles in your arm. You typically have two of them. They typically are the muscles on top of your arm, which we'll talk about in when we get to anatomy. But these are muscles that's like a two-part muscle. All right, and the last group we're talking about is tri, meaning of or relating to three, right? So if you talk about triplets, these are typically a woman gets pregnant and there's 3 babies in her belly, right? They have the same birthday. They're siblings, but they're all born at the same time, 3 of them. You talk about tricolor, of or relating to 3 colors. So a lot of times printer ink does tricolor. And then it uses those colors to make all of the other different colors, right? So of or relating to 3 colors. Triennial means every 3 years. So you might, every 3 years decide you're getting a new backpack, right? So you might get a new backpack triennially, right? Every 3 years. Okay, tricentennial. This, we look at this root word. We have this root word cent, okay? Cent means of or relating to 100, okay? So you think about the number of cents in a dollar. There's 100 cents in a dollar. That is of relating to 100. You talk about a century, that's every 100 years. So a tricentennial celebration is every 300 years, right? You might have a tricentennial celebration of, a founding of the country or, a building or something. Okay, you have trigonometry. This one, you hear it makes the short I sound, not typically the long I like you have been hearing. So trigonometry is a type of math. It is of or relating to learning all about sides and angles of a triangle. This is something you learn typically in high school, but what trigonometry is all about angles and measurements all relating to triangles or of 3 sides. Okay, you've got a tripod. If you are a camera fanatic and you like to put your camera on a tripod, it sits with 3 legs, holds it steady so that you can take pictures or video or whatever. Okay, we have a triathlon. That is a athletic competition where you compete in kind of 3 parts all in one race. So you swim and you run and you bike. All of that together makes up this triathlon. And then the very last word you have is a trilogy. So trilogy is a 3-part series. I have a lot of my favorite books are trilogy. So the author has written 3 books, or you might see some movies that are trilogies. There are 3 of them, for you to watch and enjoy. So that is your SORT 28 for this week. If you have any questions, reach out to your teacher. Have a great day. Bye.